Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you, and I got a pair of shoes that I am pumped to get into today. This one has been on my radar for quite some time. These dropped on Sneakers maybe a week or 2 weeks ago from the time I'm recording this video, and they're actually still available at a handful of retailers on the day that I'm making this. I think I'm so fond of it because I associate Air Trainers with Bo Jackson, and I also just associate them with my childhood and shoes that I loved as a kid, and they still give me that nice retro nostalgic feel, and I just love the style of them as well. But along with these Coriander Air Trainer 1s, I'd like to take a look at a pair of Air Trainer 3s, actually like I'm wearing here, and a pair of Air Trainer SCs, just to give you a little comparison and point out a couple differences and similarities and that sort of thing. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's look at these Coriander Air Trainer 1s. Okay, and like I mentioned, I always like to do a little comparison and a side-by-side if I have some shoes of a similar silhouette or that sort of thing. So first off, I want to show you the Air Trainer SC. This one is actually referred to as the Georgetown Air Trainer SC. And I knew whenever these dropped that it was a pair I definitely wanted to get. I actually struck out on these on the Nike app, and I bought these off of GOAT for $150, which wasn't bad. It's funny because whenever I got these, somebody in the comments when I did this review was saying like, oh, if you paid $150 you got robbed or something like that. But if you look at the prices of these now, you can't get them for $150. They're a lot more than that. And I have noticed before in the past, Air Trainers seem to kind of sit a little bit, and then all of a sudden people realize like, oh wait, that's a pretty dope shoe, and then the prices start going up. So I try to get Air Trainers whenever they drop. I feel like the recent Saquon Barkley Air Trainers, those Air Trainer 3s, I think they kind of brought a little bit more attention to the silhouette. But these are the Air Trainer SCs. You'll notice there's no strap, and these actually look a lot different than the shoes I'm going to get into today, but I just wanted to show you since they're in the same family as that. But I definitely love this pair. And then next we have these bad boys, the Viotek Air Trainer 3. And you might think like, wait, did he take the shoes off that he's wearing? And no, I didn't. This is actually a pair that I like so much, and I thought they were so unique that when the prices were down initially and they were easy to get, I just doubled up on them. You know, I got a pair the day that they released from Bodega, and then I think this second pair was actually cheaper, and I ended up grabbing these off of GOAT. But like I said, I paid less than what retail was, just because I think people were panic selling or whatever. Just like I mentioned before, now the prices on these are steadily going up and they're getting pretty expensive, but I like these. I like how unique they are. I have nothing else in the collection like this, and I just love the Air Trainer 3 is probably my favorite Air Trainer, and it was probably my favorite one when I was a kid. I will always try to get a dope unique colorway of the Air Trainer 3s whenever they drop. So there's that pair. But now let's get to the Air Trainer 1 Coriander. Came in a black box. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that. You can see Nike on it. They're glossy. And the tag reads Air Trainer 1 SP. The colors are Coriander, Ashen Slate, and Wheat. This is a size 10, and they retailed for about $150. I bought these off of Undefeated the day that they dropped, and I bought these before they became available on Sneakers, just because I wanted to be sure I had my pair, just in case they did sell out immediately on Sneakers and I didn't get them on there. But like I said, some sizes are still available at select retailers, and that's real common for Air Trainers. But like I said, once they're gone, I think then people will start reaching back to get them and the price steadily goes up. Because for me, Air Trainers are one of my favorite silhouettes growing up in the 80s and 90s. This is just one of those shoes that reminds me of childhood. And I think when you get into that area, there's a lot of other people like me that think like, wow, that shoe was so awesome back in the day, and I am for sure going to grab a pair of them. So I think they get harder and harder to get the more time goes on. And then enough gabbing about everything else. Check these out. Man, these are so cool. The Air Trainer 1 Coriander. And I always say that Air Trainers remind me of Bo Jackson, but also I should mention John McEnroe, I think, had a big part in developing this shoe. And if you're not familiar with him, he's kind of like known as like a hot-headed tennis player. But I was reading some facts about the Air Trainers, and I had never realized Tink Hatfield designed these. He came up with the first sketches of these after going to the gym and noticing that most people there at the gym took 2 pairs of shoes, and they would take a pair of shoes to lift weights in, and then they would take another pair of shoes to run in. And so whenever he drew up these first sketches of the Air Trainer, he wanted a shoe that could just do it all, you know, that you could wear for basically anything. And this pair is just very, very unique to anything else that I have. I've never had an Air Trainer that looks like this. There's a whole lot of unique touches on it, but one of the most unique touches is this panel on the side underneath that swoosh. Maybe I should show you on this side, but you get like a rainbow effect on it, but it's not cheesy looking. I don't know if that comes through on camera. It's really hard for me to tell out here in the sun, but it's like a chameleon effect. It changes color from like green to pink to yellow to blue. It's just really, really cool looking. And real quick, I do want to show you this outsole is very similar to the outsole on the Air Trainer 3s. And also, of course, you get that strap across the bottom like you get on the Air Trainer 3s. But the shape and everything from the Air Trainer 1 to the Air Trainer 3, it's pretty similar across the board. But then getting into the review, the outsole is like a wheat color. It's got a little bit of Nike branding there in like almost like a peach color, but looks pretty neat. And then that wraps up and you've got like this, it looks like an aged yellow kind of color. It's painted there on the midsole, and you also see that wheat color there up in the front. And then I love all these reflective overlays. All of these areas that look silver is reflective, and that's on top of like, it feels like a nubuck or something. It's probably a synthetic material, but it looks like it's like a mustard color. And then on the toe box, you've got this canvas type material, which is pretty cool. But then around the heel, you've got more overlays of like a leather. It's like a tan color, and you get more reflective hits. And then there's another little area that's peach for that swoosh. But up here around the collar, you have more of that canvas, as well as on the tongue. And you've got these bright orange laces that matches that canvas type strap. And I love the little blue accents going up there.